James Hirechek with this week's Autochartist weekly recap for the week ending November 16th. Primary focus last week, the Autochartist trading opportunities was in the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Twice last week we were looking for breakdowns in the market, and we could see that we had a general trend down, and then Friday we spiked lower before we formed this wedge pattern, and then we had a strong demand for higher yielding assets come in Friday, and this drove the New Zealand dollar, US dollar higher. So though we were trading with the trend and getting signals in the direction of the trend, late in the week we had this reversal, which is now indicating that the market may break out to the upside. We also were looking at the Australian dollar, US dollar. Same situation there. We were looking for downside action, and we saw it several times because of the bearishness, the general bearishness in the marketplace for higher yielding assets like the Australian dollar. You could see that we started to get a breakdown here, and then Friday again, just like the New Zealand dollar, when that US stock market put in its bottom, demand came in for higher risk assets and shorts had to cover. We also looked at the British pound, Japanese yen, and that was a breakout to the upside as the yen weakened against all major currencies. Now, coming into this next week, our focus is going to be on a risk on situation because of the way we closed on Friday with some pretty good reversals on the daily chart. We expect to see the dollar under pressure. That would mean that higher risk assets or higher yielding assets such as the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and euro could show some upside action against the dollar. And so as long as we have a risk on situation, the daily reversal charts indicate we could see a 2 to 3 day rally before we reach correction points. We also have a shortened week because of the U.S. holiday on Thursday, so we could see some short covering and some position squaring ahead of that, which could mean a volatile trade. And then, of course, as we reach the holiday on Thursday, we could see volume begin to taper off fairly sharply. So again, to recap the week, primarily started out with a bearish New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and bearish Australian dollar versus the US dollar. And then by Friday, the reversals caught the shorts by surprise and they covered, and this should follow through most likely for the next 2 to 3 days. This has been James Hirechek with this week's Autochartist weekly recap for the week ending November 16th.